Hey guys, welcome back to the Red Circle Podcast with your host, Vanessa and Ed.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody.
We got a new camera, so I don't know where to look.
Look at this one.
Look at this one.
Okay. You're not supposed to be talking. You're supposed to just be
He's
memeing everything. You meme everything, like
this one.
like mouth it to us. I can look at this one too? Okay,
Yeah.
so I can look at this one and this one, but not Vanessa's.
No.
What if I just look at it the whole time?
Did you just be staring at something off camera that nobody knows what you're looking at?
Well, I just do it to make you happy.
Everyone in the comments are going to be like, but what is he looking at?
Yeah. I'll just the whole time. So.
Oh, God. Yeah. Very awkward. I like it, though.
Okay. So a lot of things are going on
Mhm.
right now. I think we can just do a kind of a touch up on a lot of things. You know what I'm seeing that's very positive
Mm.
or hopeful
Okay.
is I seen a lot of people speak up against the push from the letter people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's very surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it other than I thought nobody was going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought we were done.
Yeah.
It was game over. But
I think things have gone too far. And I think especially when it comes to the push with kids. A lot of people, like me, if you're an adult, do what you want to do. It is what it is. But you're not going to pressure kids. You're not going to push kids towards something or expose them to things that they don't understand. It just is not appropriate. And the trans issue.
Wow, I never put that together.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So with kids and the trans issue, people just want to be loving and accepting, which is good.
Mhm.
But when it comes to transitioning a child, it is unacceptable. And I highly encourage everybody to look up hashtag detransition. Look up people talking about their detransition. The hormones are so important to an adult body, let's say. If your hormones are off, you could lose your hair, your eyes could start to get bulgy, you could be itchy and hot. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong. But when you're a kid and you're going through puberty, you're going to miss those important markers in your life for your body to properly develop.
That's weird.
And these kids are developing their vocal cords are aching. They are itchy everywhere. There's literally hormonal itching. I had that after I had Aria. I itched. I would scratch myself until I almost bled. I'd have to use, I know, doesn't that sound terrible? A brush. Jake was like, use a brush to scratch instead. And I would just try to gently scratch. It was hormonal itching. And there are kids and teenagers going through hormonal itching.
Guys, why would you want to be a girl?
It's hard, but I like it.
Why would I want to be a girl? The things that girls have to go through.
I know, dude. It's intense.
Whiz.
Yeah.
Especially hormonal stuff is out there. Now, you know what's funny is they say testosterone is what makes you more emotional. Yeah, I remember reading something about that. So men have to deal with more emotions and overcome them.
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
See,
because when you get when they I learned this from my doctor who's a hormone therapist, and he says that if I give you a bunch of testosterone, you'll be emotional. He's like, so watch out for your emotion, because I was taking tea.
Yeah.
I'm off tea now.
Yeah.
But I was taking tea for a while. Now I just drink tea with mushrooms in it.
Ooh.
Mushrooms that are supposed to give me tea. I don't know. I'm trying.
We're trying it.
We're trying. And he says, be careful, because you will be more emotional. You'll be short-tempered. You'll be more, sexually stimulated or whatever.
Yes.
And but you'll be more emotional. And I was like, wow, that's strange, because that's the opposite of what you think.
You would think it would be estrogen. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, but I don't know. I just thought that was fascinating.
I wonder. Yeah. Because I know might be TMI, but it is what it is. when it's close to that time of the month for me, anything will make me cry.
Oh.
Anything will, a commercial about puppies. I'm just like, puppies. I went to the movies the other
Celine
day.
Dion
Yeah.
just putting it on
My
TV.
heart
No,
will go on.
it's not Celine Dion. It's Sarah McLachlan.
Yes.
She's in all those puppy ones where the
Yes,
puppies are like in a
exactly.
cage.
Yes. I
And
can't watch those.
And the puppy's crying.
Yeah.
How do you make a puppy cry? First off, because puppies don't cry.
That's a good point. I never even thought of that.
You
I
know
just
what I mean?
accepted it. I was like, this puppy is sad.
It's probably like in their backyard, like in a normal kennel.
They're
and
putting
he's just
drops.
crying, you know what I mean? He's like they're showing him pictures to like make him cry. Like,
Yeah.
Like of other sad things, you know what I mean? Of babies
What?
crying.
Oh, and he's like, yeah, it's crazy though. And then it was funny too, because so there are apps where you can track your period. And I started tracking my emotions throughout the month. So when I'd get agitated or if I felt very like sad or whatever.
Jeez.
And it
was like on point.
It goes like a week before,
Mm.
everything bothers me. Jacob will breathe wrong and I'll be like, are you trying to annoy me? And he's like, what is going on? Yeah. And then during, just very emotional. And then after, I feel amazing. But you only feel amazing for like a week.
Oh, so you get a high as well.
Huh?
Yes. You hit a high.
There is like,
I didn't know there was a high.
There's it's a whole roller coaster. And you
so
only
I
feel
didn't know
normal
you
for a
like
week.
spike.
Yes.
That's new information.
Yeah. And everybody's different, but mine, I tracked it. And then that made me feel better because I was like, why am I such a bee sometimes, you know? And I'm like, oh, it's my hormones. So it's not really how I feel, it's the hormones. And so I cool it. I'm like, maybe he isn't breathing annoying to annoy me. Maybe it's me.
The
and I need to calm it
funniest
down.
one I've ever heard was my brother-in-law, his wife, when she was pregnant.
Oh, no.
She said that the sound of him putting lotion on in the morning drove him up the wall and that he had to put lotion on in the bathroom.
Okay.
So
and that was specifically when she was pregnant.
Yeah, and he's like, only when she was pregnant, he's putting lotion, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, can you? And she was like screaming at him to leave the room because he was putting lotion on.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know putting lotion on has a sound, but I can hear it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
said, like, and it's all.
Yeah, that was for sure hormones.
That's hilarious.
For sure.
That's so hilarious.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, also, I think women have a hormonal issue in general in the United States due to all the hormones in our foods, all the hormones in meats. The same thing with men, where men's testosterone is falling off a cliff.
Yes. Yeah, ours are off. And it's not only the hormones in all the things we're consuming, but it's also the lotions, the shampoos, the
soaps.
everything, soaps, everything is an endocrine system disruptor. And that just throws everything off.
Oh, you just threw a fancy word in there, endocrine.
Endocrine system.
Yeah, it's just like, I've been waiting for 10 years to put this into a sentence.
System. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's funny. I had a conversation with my wife. I want to see your take on it.
Okay.
My wife's a little tomboy, and I was listening to a video about somebody on trans something, and they were detransitioning, and they were talking about how horrible it was.
You destroy your body.
She's there crying on this video. I don't know how I found it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
look it up, guys. They're destroying their bodies and they're regretting it, and you can't undo it.
And my wife, the lady in the video, she said, it's because I always felt like I was not feminine enough, and she's like, I was more of a tomboy.
Yeah.
And then I paused it and I looked over at my wife, who's tomboy.
Yeah.
You know, she fixes stuff.
Yeah.
She wanted.
Tell them what you got her.
Yeah, she wanted
for her birthday.
No, it wasn't even her birthday. It was like Valentine's Day.
No,
it was her birthday. Yeah, it was her birthday. I bought her like a drill set.
She sent me a picture of it. She was so excited. Like, yeah, yay, you got it.
She sent me for Mother's Day.
What she wants?
Yes.
What is
it? Look it. I can show you. Look it. She says, "This is what I want for Mother's Day," and then it's like a wrench set.
It is. Oh my
I'm not making it up. Can you see it?
She's so cool.
She's like,
And
oh,
but
maybe
she's
you saw some of the dirty conversations.
oh no.
No, it's not. Okay, good.
That's how you keep it spicy.
Yeah, keep it spicy.
But she also has girly things. Like I love her shoes. She always has really cute earrings, but she is a
Yes.
tomboy.
And she's very colorful. She wears
Mhm.
colors that
Mhm.
the girls will not wear.
Mhm.
Colors that do not match.
But
You
she
know,
works it.
but she
It
pulls it
matches
off
on her.
somehow. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because like she'll dress the girls up, and I'm like, Sephora, like that doesn't match.
Yeah.
But everybody compliments the girls,
Yeah.
and the girls love it.
This is true.
You know, and then we have a little Abigail, and she's tomboy-y.
Yeah.
And Addie, she's very prissy.
Yes.
But she can do tomboy-y
Yes.
things. She'll go get in the mud.
Yeah.
But I think that's my wife kind of like pushing them into being like that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But I asked her, and I said, do you feel that way? Like you're not feminine enough?
Mhm.
And she's like, well, of course.
Yes.
And I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, who's that? What's that? There's a saying. What do you mean?
Oh, that dude.
It's that dude.
What do you mean? What are you doing with that?
What are you going to do with that? Yeah, you got to find that meme and put it in there.
Okay, what in the crab with a K is going on here? What do you do with that? So
Because I love this guy.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. Him and his wife.
They're cute.
They're super cute.
They're
He does a
OGs
bunch
on
of
YouTube.
cooking stuff.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that?
They used to prank each other all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now I like this content better.
So he's like does reaction videos and
Yeah.
he does that. What are you gonna do with that? Like you should be a GIF. But
Okay.
it's a GIF in my own head.
Yes.
So then I told her, I said, but who's telling you that that's not feminine or not attractive? I said, it's not us guys. I said, because we're attracted to tomboy type girls.
Yeah.
And some of us are attracted to like very high end, you know, like
High
maintenance girls.
Yeah.
And there's guys that do not want a high maintenance girl at all.
Yeah.
Like if there's like when I was dating, if there was a girl that had way too much makeup on, I was like immediately she's high maintenance.
No.
It was like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
not putting up with all that work.
Yeah.
All I saw was work.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
ugh.
thank you.
Now if you like a lot of makeup, like go
Do it.
do
it,
your
girl.
thing. Do your thing. You know what I mean? But I would rather have a partner, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that's the difference is that guys, when they're looking to date or bang,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
They're okay with going after the hot girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they're going to marry,
Yeah.
they're going to look at how much work is involved,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So, and they're like, oh, this high maintenance girl. And if they're not making a ton of money,
Yeah.
they're going to avoid that high maintenance
yeah,
girl.
'cause
they're going to be like,
expensive.
I'm not going to afford this girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might go bang her,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to go finance that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Finance that thing.
Because we look at it as an investment.
Yeah, I see that.
It's a long-term investment in relationships. Like
Yeah.
we're going to pour into the woman
Yeah.
and we're going to say, okay, like, does this girl need like a 5-gallon paint bucket? Or
Of
is she
investment.
just like a water cup? You know what I mean? Like how much do I feel I can afford?
Yeah.
That's why you find the guys that get those high maintenance girls
Mhm.
are the super rich guys.
Yeah. And they're high
And
maintenance
they get them when
too.
they're like 50 and 60.
Yeah.
And then
they
they're
can
like,
now afford
they
them.
can afford that
Yeah.
high maintenance girl.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay.
All right, let's do
You know,
it.
come get on the yacht.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like,
Okay, let's do it.
you know, what's that show that all the girls used to watch? The Beverly Hills Girls. I don't know what.
The Housewives?
That's one.
Yeah.
That's who
They're
these
one of
girls
my
are.
favorite ones.
That's who
'cause
these
they
girls
have
are.
Money.
That's who those
Yeah.
girls are. None of them are tomboys.
Yeah.
They're not in the back like shoveling like my wife,
No, definitely not.
doing gardening.
So, to answer your question, I feel like you guys, okay, I have painted nails, I'm wearing pink, but I feel very masculine
Really?
all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're and I
All
would,
the time.
and really?
Yeah.
I think it's just there's a misconception as to what
I
femininity
think what it is too is
especially to us.
yeah.
Now, and that's the one thing I told my wife, and she's like, Edward, you I can't believe you're even saying this. She was mad at me that I even brought this question up.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I don't know who's telling you that because it's not us guys.
Well, part of it though, I think
I said
is
maybe it's you girls being mean to each other.
it's us comparing ourselves to other girls.
Mm.
So from like way back in my life, my sisters, I grew up, there's four of us. I mainly grew up with the first two sisters. I'm the oldest. The younger one, I like already moved before by the time she was old enough. But my other sisters, they're very, very petite and very, very girly. And so comparing myself to them, I've always been a tomboy. I didn't want Barbies. I wanted to wear blue. I wanted to play outside. And so comparing myself to them immediately felt, even like my size, like I've always been a little chunky. They're very narrow and petite. So I just have always felt not as feminine as my sisters.
Mm.
And then all of my friends, depending on the groups and things like that, there's always somebody that's more petite and feminine.
Mm.
And yeah.
Mm.
And I think also
Let me
with
ask you this:
Mhm.
What would you define femininity? If a girl walks in and she's feminine,
What
is
is that?
Yeah, what is that?
So for me, I think petiteness has a lot to
Wow.
do with it.
Number one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like not very tall. Like
Uh-huh.
literally, I think it also depends on the type of man you get. So if you are tall, you can get a tall dude and still feel petite.
Mhm.
But like Jake is a little bit taller than me and I weigh a little bit more than him. So I don't feel petite around him.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
So petite, I mean, I can see that now because you're talking about a guy being able to like be stronger than you.
Yeah. And
be
bigger
able-
than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
carry
Even
you
just-
over the threshold,
Even
so to speak.
maybe even just like the way you look next to each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like realizing things as we talk.
That's fascinating.
Okay, and then how soft and feminine. I know you're asking what feminine is, but just petite, soft. Because like, and like when
I can see soft.
my natural way to sit, I normally sit like this.
Well, that is not soft.
It is not.
That is not.
So
feminine.
I have like worked, and I'll sit like this, and then try to look a little softer, you know?
Yeah, there's
So-
something about like women having their feet together.
Yeah.
Right? There is
Yeah,
something
it's
to that.
softer.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so, and then I'm around a lot of people.
Because masculinity takes
takes
space,
up space, yeah.
and you know what I mean. That's how like it's a power move.
Mhm.
You know, it's like a strength.
But it's more comfortable to sit that way.
yeah.
Like this is not as comfortable, but I've gotten used to it.
I would tell you this though, as a guy, I sit like this with my legs crossed. We got the new camera, you can see it.
Yeah.
So I generally
yeah.
sit like this, okay, with my legs crossed.
Mhm.
But I have in the past sat like this.
Mhm.
Like Jordan Peterson sits
Sits
like
like that.
this.
Jacob
a
sits
lot.
like that.
But it's not masculine.
No.
And it's like a little bit smashy
It
little
is.
things. Just to give a visual. So,
Smashing your things.
But it's very feminine. This
Mhm.
is a very feminine nonverbal communication.
It is.
You're shrinking yourself
Mhm.
in a situation,
Mhm.
which is very strange for somebody like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's totally uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
there's times in my whatever sitting history that I wanted to sit like that.
Yeah.
And then I consciously said, "Oh no."
Less feminine. Let's sit like this. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's also because I studied nonverbal communication. So I know that if you sit a certain way, like I sit back
Mhm.
a little bit on purpose because it portrays the feeling that I'm not as serious.
Yeah. Because when you're leaned in,
Yeah,
you're
or
more
even
engaged.
if I'm like sitting straight like this,
Yeah.
it'll make people more uncomfortable. Especially because I'm
Oh.
taller and I'm
Yeah.
already like a bit intimidating to people.
Yeah.
So it makes people a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
So I found that to be true. Just little things that I'll do
Yeah.
that people would never know
Mhm.
that I'll do to.
The nonverbal communication is huge.
It's like
It's everything.
70-80%
Yeah.
of communication
Yeah.
is nonverbal.
Yeah. So I think with femininity, you compare as a woman, you're comparing yourself to other people that are around you. So if I'm around a bunch of dudes, I'll feel very feminine,
Yeah.
you know, but if I'm around a bunch of girls that are dressed to the nines,
Mm.
I might not feel as feminine. And my natural, like, I want to wear t-shirts, I want to wear jeans or like workout, like bike shorts. Those are the things I want to wear. But going out and about, it's like, okay, who am I going to be around? Okay, I should probably wear a fuchsia sweater. And I do, the thing that I do love to
That's
do,
crazy. You dress based on who you're around?
1,000,000%, yes.
You are George Costanza.
Don't ever say that to me again. I'm not George Costanza.
Remember
I don't
how-
know him that well.
Remember George
I just see him as a
Costanza?
bald man.
No, it's a George Costanza.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Thing. He's like, he dresses.
This outfit is
Yeah, this is summer mist.
summer sage or something like that. Yeah.
He's like winter mist or something.
Yes, it is.
And he's like, these are the many shades, the colors of George Costanza.
Of George Costanza.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's just to give everybody an insight, there's an episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza goes on a vacation trip where Jerry was going to go to on Jay Leno's talk show or
Yes,
somebody like that. And so he shows up at Jerry's apartment with like 4 suitcases. And Jerry's like,
What
we're
is
going
all
for
this?"
2 days. What are you doing? And he's like, well, I dress based on how I feel this day. And he's like, so I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. So I have to take all of the different.
You need options.
And he's like, you dress the same every day.
He
And
really
he's like,
does.
And then he goes, seemingly. He's like, but they're different shades and different types. And he's like, well, what's today? And he's like, oh, today is winter mist. So that's funny because I know, like, if it was up to me, and it generally is up to me, I wear jeans, a polo, dress shoes every day. That's my thing. Not a hoodie, but a polo. I generally am in a polo everywhere I go.
Yeah.
In the winter, I want to wear polos.
Yeah. You have sweaters too, though.
I do.
I like your sweaters.
I can pull off sweater game.
can.
And then I also have Oxfords and I have sports coats. But that's when it's really cold.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta wear something.
I
But
always try to get Jake to wear sweaters. He doesn't want to.
so I think that's fascinating. Okay, so first thing is
And
body type. So it's petite.
yes.
And then the second one was
I don't remember.
you said, gosh. Oh, you said
Depends on who you're around.
no. Yeah, you said you dress based on who you're around. That's what you said last. So it was petiteness.
Oh, I forget.
Oh, soft.
Soft.
Soft was the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that my chaga is taking all of
It's
the
working.
parasites out of my body. So
And okay,
so
so
soft, and then you dress based on who you're gonna be around.
yes.
Okay.
And going back to what that girl had said when she was transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always loved gay men.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this
I
is
get-
going
I get-
where to the next level.
I get like we have moments all the time.
You have like the dancing on your tippy toe.
Yeah. I'm like, like we'll go to a restaurant
seen
and the
that happen
server's
before.
like, and we're like, girl, yes. So I love gay men. And
Wow, this is serious. I see the transition happening
I
right
love
here.
gay men. So I had a time where like you go shopping and you look at something and you think, this isn't me. Right? Oh, but I wish I could pull this off, but this isn't me. And it was like a pair of house shoes, but they were like fabulous, like slippers.
Mhm.
And I turned to one of my friends and I was like, I wish I was a fabulous gay man so that I could pull these off.
Hmm.
No, it was my sister. And my sister Jessica looks at me and she's like, just buy them. You are a fabulous straight woman and you can pull them off. And I was like, oh my gosh, why do I think I need to be somebody else to be
Mhm.
able to be who I am?
A lot of self-identity comes from that internal dialogue that
Yes.
you don't even know you're having.
Exactly. And so I could see why that woman felt a little masculine
Mhm.
around the people she was with or
Mhm.
as who she is.
Somebody
And
said
then she feels like she
something,
needs
and
to
then it's
change.
playing in the back of your head.
Exactly.
One time,
Yes.
somebody said something.
And it plants that seed. That's why the
Mhm.
words are so important.
Yeah, be careful what you
Mhm.
tell your
What
kiddos.
you tell your kids, what you tell yourself, like you were saying.
Mhm.
So that was like a aha moment for me, which sounds ridiculous.
Mhm.
But I don't know why I felt like, oh, I need to be a fabulous gay man to be able to buy these
Mhm. And I don't think it's like most of the
house
time.
slippers.
Most of the time, I think a lot of the women's issues come from their daddy issues.
Hmm
But I don't think you've had any of those.
Mm-mm, I
Not
don't.
like that. So
No, it's a.
like my girl, like the other day, like Abigail, and it was last night. She was putting on earrings because we had the painting thing for
Yes,
the,
the art show.
and so she was putting on earrings in the mirror. Mama was putting on her earrings,
Oh.
and she was and
Ay, they're
like,
growing
and she was
up.
fronting her hair, and I was like,
Like, what is
and
happening?
then me and Zephyr look at each other. We're like, wow,
Uh-huh.
and it was just so cute. And because she's the tomboy,
Mm-hmm.
but she's also feminine.
Yeah, and she loves fashion. She's the
Yes,
one that's putting
she's like the
on the
fashionista.
layers and the boots
Hmm.
and the vest, and yeah, she's very fashion forward.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't know. I think I was like in my head as a guy,
yeah.
it was mind blowing for me to think that women have this whole complex that we're not even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
guys are so simple.
Yeah.
Like I don't think now transition that to the guy side.
Mhm.
There's a lot of guys that feel way too feminine, and we all know it.
Mhm.
Like there's guys that they just stand wrong,
Mhm.
and you're like, dude, like don't
Mhm.
stand like that. Like
Yeah.
I've told my son, don't stand like that. Not that he's feminine, but
I understand that though.
like they'll have their arm like this.
My
or
high
something, and you're
school
like,
boyfriend.
dude, stop that.
Don't do that. My high school boyfriend would stand like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
And
like,
my
no.
mom, when I told her that I was dating him, was like, Mom, I said yes to date this boy. And she's like, Mia, isn't he gay? Because of his mannerisms. Yeah, very feminine. And I think too, sometimes with boys and with girls, people will say things that will kind of cement what's it called when it's what's the word, standard, where what's the word,
What? I don't know what.
double standard, not a double
Oh.
standard. It's just
Like something that they have stuck in their own heart that they feel like they
no,
carry
it's
with them.
like if you want to be a woman, you have to wear lipstick. It's
Okay, so it's just like the normal public like
yes.
stereotype.
Stereotype. You found it. Thank you. Okay. So I think that
you're gonna be angry.
I'm like, I need that.
Like,
I'm gonna wake up
let
at
me
like
check your
midnight.
clock.
Stereotype.
Let me check your clock and see if you can start crying, right?
And then I couldn't figure out stereotype. So I think that with like boys like
I'm the only guy that can get away with that joke. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You are. I think with stereotypes like that, where a boy is like a little bit feminine, and then people start speaking into his life. Kids are mean. And I remember in middle school, there was this boy who was like, I'm straight. I didn't really even know what straight and gay was at that point, but they were like, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, because he had very feminine mannerisms. And he was like, no, I'm not. Like, leave me alone. I don't know whatever happened with him. But I think that if you told something all your life, that could definitely plant a seed.
I remember when we were kids, we used to make fun of everybody and we tell them they were all gay.
Yeah.
Like all kids. Like it was the ultimate cut down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like growing up in the 90s, that's what we called everybody. You know what I mean? We used the F one. You can't even say that word anymore.
That's a hurtful one.
Yeah, but that's what we used to say it. You know, and you all 90 kids know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go watch a 90s movie.
Yeah.
They say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's rated R, they're going to say it.
Yeah, that's true.
And like go watch Scream.
Oh.
Remember the first Scream?
I do.
Like go watch that movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah.
So or like early Adam Sandler movies.
I think stereotypes are part of the thing, but with like femininity and masculinity, like I don't know. It's interesting.
I do think there are people that are more somewhat masculine or feminine leaning in their spectrum of being a man or being a woman.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think that there's probably a couple factors. Fatherhood, huge factor. And then obviously motherhood. But I think also our diets and how much hormones we're eating. That it could throw off what it is. You know what I mean? You can throw off what it is. Also, I think if somebody had somebody hurt them as a child, sexually primarily, or if they got exposed to pornography and stuff like that, it could twist their brain.
I like what you said last time about the record and the scratch. Say it again.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah. So if any of those things happen, It's like a record, and when it tries to play that track of sexuality or intimacy or attraction, and if it's scratched, it's never going to play right. It's going to skip
It's gonna
over to
skip.
something else that's not meant to be there.
Yeah.
Because there's guys that, like, there's a kid in internship. I call him a kid, but he's got kids. And he's going through stuff with his family. And I was walking him through masculine journey things in the last couple sessions of the internship. And at the last one, I told him, I was like, okay, I want you to sit here and I want you to pray and I want you to ask God to tell you who he sees you as.
Oh.
Right? And he said, because he didn't have a father.
Yeah.
He had never been initiated. He's never been doted on by his father. And there's a huge wound in his chest. Huge wound in his chest.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, do that and then wait for him to answer you. But then when he was done, he came back and he was emotional. You know, and I gave him a hug, right? You know, like a good hug.
Yeah.
Not like a little, hey dude, what's up? You know, and there was no sexual,
of course
nothing.
Not. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if my record had been scratched in that area, this intimate moment between two males could have made him feel a certain way or me feel a certain way, depending on my past. And that's where we're getting the wires crossed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
So.
And that's a powerful question to ask. Yeah.
No. Every man needs to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that one day.
I think that helps. I don't know if I had told this story here before, but when I was struggling with depression really bad, there was a lot of negative self-talk. And one of the things that I would just say over and over in my head, I didn't even realize I was saying it, is I'm broken. Broken.
Yeah,
I remember saying it out loud, and Jacob was frustrated, and he was like, is that what Jesus thinks of you? Is that what God says about you? I'm like, no. And that's cool to try to see yourself through that lens. You know, I love that. That's a great question.
I think it's very hard for the females just to be able to understand that guys are attracted to different spectrum of femininity. You know, and if even different body types, different heights.
Yeah.
Just the same as girls are attracted to different guys.
Yeah.
Like women.
Yeah.
Women. Calmao. Calm down. Like, you know what I mean? We don't all want Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's what ladies think. I think
No.
I honestly like
we'll look.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
The same way you'll look. You know what I mean? At what's that dude that died from Fast and Furious? Walker. The guy.
The white
Paul
dude.
Walker.
Paul Walker.
Yeah, the guy's one chromosome away from being a woman. You know what I mean? He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. You know what I mean? When he was alive, God bless him.
I'm like, what is happening right now?
But
Paul Walker. I had a crush on Paul Walker.
Yeah, like, and we know he's hot, but it's fine. Like, I'm not offended that you think Paul Walker's hot.
Yeah.
Like, and I think girls, they're so insecure with who they are.
Yeah.
That they don't understand that we don't look to in marriage, we don't look at just this one thing. Right? Like let me answer the same question.
Okay.
So what is femininity to me?
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about this. This is like straight off the cuff.
Yeah.
So the number one thing that a guy wants is he wants somebody to be able to pour into. Which comes from a place of vulnerability. Physically, it's literally what happens. Right? And emotionally, it's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And women are so stuck on, like, I don't need a man. I don't need anything from you. I can buy my own car. I can buy my own food. Okay, then why do you want me? What am I here for? What is my purpose in your life? Where is my value?
Yeah.
Men get value from being able to supply, provide,
Yeah.
protect these things.
Yes.
And if the woman's like, I don't need you, well, then go away.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think.
I think vulnerability is the most attractive thing in any woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because women are telling men to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most unattractive thing for men to be vulnerable.
Yeah. So
And men are stupid and they're listening. Don't listen, guys. Don't be vulnerable to your woman.
You're right. Because I've always thought that. Because Jake, the way he grew up, you don't show emotion. I've never seen him cry. Ever. He didn't cry when we got married. He didn't cry when we had kids. He didn't cry when our first dog died like a couple months ago. He was our first baby. I sobbed. He's never, ever, ever, ever cried. And anyways, I feel like I've talked to him about like you need to feel your feelings more. You need to like deal with certain things, you know? And he does his own thing, but he still doesn't ever show emotion. And then I became friends with a feminine-ish man who, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have heard him cry, whine. I'm just like literally every time, not that I was ever attracted to him, but every time he would tell me how he felt,
his value,
I was
and
like,
ranking.
and then at some point I get the call and I'm like, oh God, please don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk to you. I want to be around you. And he wasn't even that bad, but when he would share his feelings, this sounds terrible. It's too much. I wasn't the one to be sharing those feelings with.
You know
and
why?
Less and less and less attractive.
Because women are not made to carry that weight.
I can carry a little. No.
The only people you can carry the weight for
My babies?
Your baby boy.
Oh, my baby boy. One day. I would love a baby boy.
So moms to their boys, they can carry. Right? There's something special with the mom. Like, there's a reason why he's in the Super Bowl doing the dance. And they're like, he won the Super Bowl. And it's like, Mama, I love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He don't say, nobody's saying, thank you, Dad.
Yeah,
Right? I never seen that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that day. Thank you, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
You know?
Yeah. I could see that. Well, and yeah.
So men are this is the funnel. God, man, woman. The man is supposed to literally you got the new camera. Literally he pours into the woman. But the man cannot pour into the woman unless he's been poured into by him.
If his glass is empty.
Yes.
And it's God that pours into him.
That's the problem is most guys are walking around with an empty glass. Because they don't even know how to get it. They don't know how to be fathered by God. They don't know how to be initiated into masculinity. Because they've never had fathers. Or their fathers didn't know. Or their fathers were raised by women. Like we have an epidemic in America about masculinity. And it all comes from this. And women are walking around mad at the world. And they don't know why. And it's because you're trying to be a man and you can't. You can't.
Yeah. And I think once women let go of that, wanting that, it's just so much better.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much better. You're in your element. You're doing your thing. But you need a guy who you can trust to let him do his thing. And then you got to let him do his thing. You can't be controlling all of it.
Yeah. And so you know how they always say that girls test guys? Heard that?
Yes.
Heard that before? Okay.
After we had a conversation about that, I realized I'm watching it happen with different people in my life and with me. And I do it less. And when I realize I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, back off. And it's normally like a week before my period when I'm sassy. So that's interesting to notice.
That's fascinating. So it's but it also is a defense mechanism for femininity because you're trying to test your man to know that he'll be able to protect you, provide for you, do all these things. You do it subconsciously.
That's why.
So women select their men through this testing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of like the girl in the you talk about like a 12-year-old girl at the playground
Yeah.
and punch the kid
Yeah.
and run away and say, "I love you." You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or he goes up to her and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the prom?" "No, you're ugly," and runs away.
Yeah.
But she really likes him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid. The
Yeah.
guys don't understand these things because women are different.
Yeah.
So she
Hmm.
tests you because she's trying to make sure that you're strong enough to deal with what's gonna come,
Mm-hmm.
so that the woman can nest,
Mm-hmm.
and then she can take care of the kids in a safe environment.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Because when I would test Jake, I guess I didn't realize that's what I was doing.
Mhm.
A lot of times in the beginning, he would just like give in to whatever, and then there was more responsibility on my plate, and then there was more on me
And
and
you're
more
like,
on me, and I'm
"I
like,
don't
oh my
like
God,
this."
this is too much.
Mhm.
I have it all on me,
Mhm.
and I think in the beginning of our marriage, he was just like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to fight, I don't want whatever, so
Mhm.
fine, whatever, and
And
then
most guys are like that.
yes,
And they're dumb.
and
We're
then
dumb. We're
then
so
that
dumb we don't
wasn't
know.
great, yeah, and then I felt like I was his mama. I'm like, I don't want to
Mhm.
be your mama. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yep.
But then after I had the girls and I had postpartum depression, I couldn't handle any of it.
Mhm.
So then he had to pick it all up.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, you go take
You
care of
do
all those
that.
things. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I would test him, he started not taking it anymore. And then
Yeah.
I'd feel sad. I'm like, oh, he's being mean to me. But then I wasn't sad anymore because I was like, no, I like this.
You're like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a thing
There is.
for women where she wants to be told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where I tell my wife, and I'll tell her, "No, Sephra, go sit down," like that. And you know what? You know what happens?
What happens?
She goes and sits down, and she's mad. But then that night, I get some.
Oh my God.
I rest my case.
Oh my God.
I rest my
She's
case.
going to hear this episode.
Yeah, that's what she's going to.
She's going to be like, Ed.
Stop it. It's like,
Oh,
shh,
go sit down.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
She wants it. She doesn't want to carry that weight.
Yeah.
I learned this after being married for a long time.
Yeah.
And having a ton of problems. And I was like, why is my wife so mad and hates me?
Oh no.
You know? And I was like, oh, okay, and that's why.
Yeah.
Because we're doing the opposite thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So in my viewpoint, the number one thing is vulnerability. And then it's also nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Nurturing is the biggest is one of the biggest things, because you can see, like, a woman that doesn't like kids is very unattractive in when you think about marriage. Like a girl that's like, ew, they got kids, and you're like, can't marry that girl.
Yeah.
Because, dude, what are you gonna do when you have kids?
Yeah.
I'm gonna deal with it.
You
know what I mean? No. So she doesn't like kids. She's not vulnerable. Those are the two big things. And then she's like independent and not like wanting to like open up. That's very much like vulnerability. Let me think of what else there is. I like that she can, like, the way I look at women is that they're multipliers. So I like that she could be able to cook, that she can decorate, that she can fix like clothes or whatever. Like if a guy's dating a girl and she's like, and you tear your shirt and she's like, oh, give it to me, I'll fix it, or give me your pants, I'll fix them. That's like a huge turn on for a guy, right? Yeah, like little things like that, girls don't know. And I'm not even like, yes, you want to be petite. I don't want a girl that sits like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's bigger than you, and then
like you don't.
Sup, baby.
But there's different guys for different size girls.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like our friend. You know what I mean? They're big, both huge people, but they both found each other.
They did.
You know what I mean?
And he's taller than her.
He's taller than her. there's always a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And Jake makes me feel very petite and
Mm-hmm.
like very beautiful
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is like women are having this conversation in the head, the
Mhm.
dialogue in the back of their head.
Mhm.
And I think it's like demonic.
It's
Mhm.
like whispers and we hang on to them.
And it was like, I never said that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I never felt that. I don't feel that way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's a you thing. You're coming up with that on your own.
Like, I don't know who told you that.
Yeah.
It was like, it must be some other kind of girl.
Yeah.
Because like guys are different. If you come and you're vulnerable, you're nice, soft, I like that, soft, and you're not like confrontational, you laugh at our jokes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're open to being like letting us be in charge.
Mhm.
Like, we like being in charge.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, let us be in charge.
Yeah.
Like, you want a guy, like, you want to win a guy over, let him be in charge.
Yeah.
Be like, don't be like,
Yeah.
like, I'll give you a tidbit.
Mm.
You go on the first date with a guy, and the guy will ask you at the dinner. He's gonna ask you, well, what are you gonna get? And she's gonna be like, I don't know. And why don't you pick for me?
Uh-huh.
Just simple things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
The guy will be like, oh yeah, thanks. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then he'll order it for you rather than you ordering it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
People have been talking about that a lot. But
mhm,
what if you pick something she doesn't like and then she doesn't eat it?
you just eat it. You'll live.
No.
You'll live.
I don't like seafood.
Well, then just tell him anything but seafood.
Oh, okay.
Just
But I hear guys talk about that all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, on TikTok, that's like the thing that they're
I'm
talking
not
about
even
right now."
on TikTok.
That's
So
what they're talking about
I
right
just
now.
know these
You
things.
just know.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, "Yeah, the waiter comes, and I order her drink, and I order her this, and I order her that, and it's a first date, and he doesn't even know her.
Yeah.
What if you order wrong? What if
No. Like, if you're a guy, you don't
gotta
be,
ask.
Yeah, don't be an idiot. Okay, you know what's really good here? Like, if she says that, I
Yeah.
don't know what to get. Why don't you order something
Yeah.
for me? And you're like, okay, what about Caesar salad? You want a Caesar salad?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. And then you
Then
order
you do
for
it.
her. Okay, see,
Yeah.
I'm down for that. And I would like that.
You know what I mean?
I would. I actually would like that if Jake ordered
Mhm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would like, but he has to know what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
just imagining the dude's ordering wrong, and then it's like, well, I don't like that.
yeah, we want to take care of you.
Mm.
That's where it comes from. It's not
Mhm.
because we want to dominate you. It's because we want to take care of you, and we want to
Mhm.
feel like we're valuable.
Mm.
And the place that we feel valuable is when we take care of you.
Yeah.
So if you don't let us take care of you, then we're not gonna
Then
see
what's
you.
my purpose?
What's my purpose?
Yeah.
You know, just a sperm donor. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
want to be just a sperm donor.
Mhm.
You know, I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be admired and respected and cherished and looked up to and all these things.
Mhm.
But if you don't give me a space to do these
To
things
do
for
that.
you, I will never fill those ways.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know
my
what I'm saying?
gosh, this
Yeah.
is a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like people need to hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny we got to masculinity
Yeah.
from femininity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would help a lot of girls to know that it's okay to be a tomboy. Like,
Mhm.
I brought up to my wife, I was like, but we grew up and there was like Meg Ryan.
Mhm.
You know, she was in like a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And she was hot,
Yeah.
you know, and she was tomboy-y.
Yeah.
She wasn't like the super feminine. She wasn't I don't know who else was in the 90s, but you know, like, wasn't she in the like I Got Mail or whatever?
Yeah,
And
that
like
was like a huge movie back then, and
Sleepless in
still.
Seattle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Those movies. Like,
She
and
was the rom-com queen.
yes.
Yeah.
And she was tomboy-y.
Yeah.
And guys liked her.
Yeah.
And we all bought it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And she even had short hair.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not a big short hair guy.
Yeah.
But we all knew that she was cute.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference between cute and like hot and like, you know, like those kind of things. But cute goes a long way.
Yeah. I think growing up and going to the clubs and being around guys in college or boys in high school, they always wanted the attention of the hot chick. So as we've grown up, I think girls think that guys just want the hot chick.
Mm.
But that isn't true. It's true in certain, social situations like the club,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think that might be where it comes from. Because it's personal experience where you go out and it's the hot chick. I did have one friend though that was not a hot chick, but she would give a guy a look from across the room
Mm-hmm.
and she'd make them come over to her with a look. She was like, "Watch." She'd do it. I'm like, "Oh, you have magic. How are you doing that?" It was so, but she was not hot. She
Mm.
wasn't ugly. She
Mm-hmm.
just was like best friend material. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she had this look. She had
Mm-hmm.
something. I don't know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Magic.
Like pheromones, you know what I mean? And that guy's like,
Yeah. They're like,
maybe she's
okay.
down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
And
that's
that
the
really is
look.
what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a difference between hookup
Yeah.
and marriage.
Exactly.
And I think that's the big thing that women need to understand. There's huge difference.
That's a good point because
There's a
I think
huge
we are
difference.
thinking more along the lines of what guys want for the hookup.
Because I think women want to be desired,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to understand that in marriage, we desire you for totally different reasons.
And I think you should talk about that though.
Yeah.
Like Jake, I'll ask Jake, we'll get ready to go somewhere. And I'm like, do I look pretty? And he'll say, yeah, you look really beautiful. And he sincerely means it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
your answer doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say it first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
say it first. And he'll be like, but you really do look pretty. I was thinking about it right now. I'm like, yeah, but you
Aw.
didn't say it first.
That's
And so I
funny.
think guys a lot of times will think things and internalize things. You guys got to say more of it, especially to your wife,
Yeah.
to your ladies. How do we know that you guys think these things? You got to say it.
Yeah, I think so.
And Jake's gotten really good at saying the things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it's more of, how do I say it? Like, it's funny because that's the pouring into
Mm-hmm.
that guys have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And guys don't like, it's funny, it's not our nature
Mm-hmm.
to do it because other guys, it's like, it's funny. That's like in the scripture, it says, love your wife as Christ loved the church,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to pour into her, even when you don't feel like it,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're mad because she's being a big B. You know what I mean? Like, even all these times, because that's what's going to fill that bank account. That's what's going to fill her up.
Mm-hmm.
So then she can fill up the kids and then also back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave her dry,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna be happy. She's not gonna be happy. The kids are not gonna be happy. The house is gonna be in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to give into her,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's fine to open your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that guys have to learn to
Mm-hmm.
do.
Do you think
It's not natural.
guys' nature is more to show it than to say it? Like, I feel like sometimes
Most guys don't know how to say anything.
yeah.
Most guys don't know how to say anything.
Sometimes I feel like Jake working and getting that paycheck and making sure that the yard looks great and all of those things. I think that he thinks that those are the things that pour into me,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't.
Well, it's also the 5 love languages, like we talked about in the
That's a
beginning.
good point.
You know what I
Your
mean?
love languages.
So my love language
Yeah.
is words of affirmation
Mm-hmm.
and physical touch,
Mm-hmm.
where Jake's is probably acts of service
It is.
and probably gift giving.
Yeah. No.
Quality
gift.
time.
Yeah.
Acts
Physical
of service.
touch.
Physical touch. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's how he
That's
shows
how he
love,
shows.
and that's how he receives love.
Yeah. And I've realized that about him early on. And so,
Mhm.
like, when he would tell me, because he used to be a contractor, and so our paycheck was very up and down. Like, you never knew what you got. And every time he'd tell me the amount, because I'd get ready to, like, pay all the bills, I would say, thank you for working so hard for your family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got used to that, and he still appreciates it. But he does like those words of affirmation and things like that. And, yeah, I think that
Yeah,
is
we
it.
all are on each spectrum of
Mhm.
each love language.
Mhm.
Just a matter of how we naturally go about things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know my wife. If my wife wants me to feel love, she wants me to clean the house, or she wants me to like slave all day in the backyard. You know what I mean? And if I don't do it, then she's mad.
Your pound of flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sucks. This sucks. I'd much rather her just need me to say something nice to her,
Yeah.
and then I'd be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to go freaking rake the backyard. You know, like go figure.
We came over to your house one time and you were doing dishes
Mhm.
and you had like water all over you and it looked like you were working for a long time. You're like, I've been washing dishes all day. And I turned to Sephora and she's like, it's been 20 minutes. It was so funny.
Yeah,
It was so funny because you were like distressed and she was like, oh, you're so dramatic.
It's true. But you know what's funny? If you invert that, where I want the words of affirmation, but she can't give it, kind of like your situation. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like it's as a necessity. Like I can't go to her like, you need to say nice things to me.
You need to say,
you know, I'm
that
over
you're proud of
here
me.
saying all these nice things and you're not saying any nice things, right? But in work, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny, right?
Yeah.
But it is who I am. And it is who you are. And they need to understand that the same way that we have to understand theirs. You know, so maybe it'd be good that they watch this video. All right. I think that's it for today.
Good. Yay.
Yay. I hope you guys liked it.
Yes.
Like and subscribe, comment.
Yep.
Tell us the next video you want us to talk about.
Yes.
And check the links below. We're going to have some of our merch and the stuff that we're going to be selling.
Yes.
So check them below and let us know which ones you guys like. And if you have any questions about any of them, you know, check out our website. Thank you guys so much. God bless.
Bye.